Right. I'm just over there. I'll be 2 seconds. Well, I won't. I'll be longer than 2 seconds, but you know. So, that is now up. Good. That is now on. Great. Sounds off. Excellent. Okay. Phew. Right, so. Okay, let's see if that's any better. I've just turned the microphone round. If it isn't any better, I'm going to have to start again. It's much better. Good. Phew. So I say, it's like this connector thing is like temperamental. It's like a woman with really bad hormones. I'm doing great, thank you. So, apologies for last night, but I don't know if any of you are on my Facebook page, but I posted up a picture of the big storm that we had. Now, it's nothing like the storms that you have in America. It was just torrential rain right the way through the night. In fact, it was most of yesterday, and then it got worse, and it went on right the way through the night. And my signal just kept dropping, and I thought, do you know what? We've had such bad luck with Friday nights with my family phoning. They've all had a message. They've all been spoken to. Hi there, Angie. Yeah, so they've all had a message to say, don't ring me. So if any one of them rings, woe betide. Oh, it's raining in Australia too. Hi there, Kerry, by the way. So yeah, so apologies that I didn't make it last night. And also, guess what else I owe you an apology for? If you're on the membership on my Ko-fi shop, I didn't send out last week's kit. Completely forgot. Completely wiped my mind. Hi there, Tracie. Our Tracie. Good to see you. Hi, Pat. So, yeah. Double barrel kits tomorrow. I do apologise. As Tracie will vow to testament of, I have been a little bit of a busy bunny, and I don't want to tell you why at the moment, because that will all become plain when I come to explain it very shortly. But I have been very, very, very busy, and my house has been in complete and utter turmoil. And I've been so focused on this stuff, everything else kind of just went out the window. Yeah, I don't want to say any more on that. So it will become clear though, won't it, Tracie, very soon. I was wondering about that kit. You should have reminded me, Pat. just completely went out my head. My lips are sealed. Good. I is glad to hear it. And also, the other news before we make a start is that I am going to be on Tracie Fox's December Daily. I am on the 15th of November. I am part of the Clusters gang. So if you actually go onto Tracie's YouTube channel, she has done a video explaining. So there's two groups. There's the group one, and then there's us with all the clusters. And the clusters people, there's going to be obviously it's December daily, so there's going to be a video daily. But the clusters group have been split into 4 groups, and we are each utilising. Each of the groups is utilising a freebie kit which will be available for you guys to use. So there'll be kit 1 for group 1, there'll be a kit 2 for group 2, that'll be me, there'll be a kit for group 3, which is not me, and there will be another freebie kit for group 4, and we are each of us creating with the kit that we have been allocated. So we're on the Clusters gang. So I hope that you'll join me on the 15th of December. Please make a note in your diary, and don't worry, I will be reminding you beforehand, and obviously you'll see that video come up anyway. So yes, so that's exciting. I've got my kit already, but I can't tell you nothing about it. But it is going to be exciting though. So Tracie and I were talking about it yesterday and going through a few ideas. Tracie came to see me yesterday, can you tell? And we were talking through a few ideas that I'd had and what she thought and stuff. So yeah, exciting stuff. Right, I haven't done nothing on this because, as I say, I've been busy with this other stuff. But I have had quite a few ideas for it, so I want to go through a few of the ideas. There might not be too much creating, there will be some, but not as much as I would have really liked. But first things first, let's just go through what we've done already, or what I've done already. So basically that's going to be my front cover. I'm going to come back to that in a bit. This is page number 1 with a flip out envelope. We'll come back to that in a minute. Another pocket, a short page made with some 12 by 12 papers. Pages that are now ready for me to add images to, and it's going to be a ring bound journal using the Frosted Forest kit. So we've got, that's going to be the back cover. Good, glad to hear it, Kim. Kim's put you're in mid calendar. Right, so I think where we were last time was how I was going about adding these to the spines. As the spine, I should say. And I've just noticed that there's a white edge showing there, so we can't have that. I'm going to have to trim that off. So just bear with while I do that. There we go. That little bit really shows up. So what I was having to do was utilise a page that I'd done to be able to mark where this spine area is to go. So it's going to be there and there. Just make sure I'm in shot. Hi there, Lorraine. It's good to see you. Hi there, Karen. So then this has got to have glue on it. Glue, 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 glue. Pin stuck. We just do a bit of jiggery pokery with me glue. Right, let me just test it on the side because I think it's a bit bunged. Yeah. Just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I need to hang me glue. It's come out in protest because I've not been about up here. Oh. So I've just put my pin in to clean the nozzle and it's broke. My pin's now stuck. Oh, that's come out. Can't declogged me the nozzle though. Best laid plans. Oh dear. Right, I think we're clear now. Let's make sure the metal nozzle bit's not clogged. That seems to be clear. Dumbledore, stop it. So of course I was dog sitting as well on oh heck, what did that? I was dog sitting as well on Thursday night because my friend went down to London to go and see the ABBA. Oh God, I can't speak now. The ABBA experience, and she came back last night. Yeah, yesterday afternoon. Blow me a neck, Carol. Get your brain in gear, gal. And of course, with it absolutely chucking it down with rain, the dogs got absolutely soaking wet. So yeah, that was fun. So Dumbledore is now getting to a point where, because it's getting so dark so early, he's a bit like, oh, don't like being out in the dark. Did I stick the whole thing down? Yes, I did. Okay. I've forgotten. See, it's been so long since I've been up here in my craft room. My glue's clogged up. I forgot what I'm doing. So come morning, he's going to be desperate to go outside. Which way is the right way up, Carol? We'll go with that way. Okay. I'm going to turn it that way because where's my pencil marks going? Lost my pencil marks. Over there. Can't see for looking. Okay, so that's there, and then I need to see how far in they go. So I've just shifted it down this way, and I've lined the edge of this paper up with the edge of this paper here, and just slipping that under, lining it up with my pencil marks, because I need to make sure that they are all lined up. So the edge of this strip now will line up with the edge of the previous strip. There we go. Right, so that's that one in place. Whew! Got there in the end. Okay, and this little one, now I've got a couple of options with the little one. So basically I cut a piece of 12 by 12 in half. So it's 6 inches wide, and I'm using the full depth of the paper, and I folded up the bottom edge, so now the height of the paper is the same as the height of my pages. But again, I need to line it up so that these spine edges are all going to be in line. Do I want it that way? Yeah, I'll have it that way. So again, I'm marking top and bottom, and then I'm going to line this edge of the card up with the edge of the paper. Alright, so that's that now set. Put some glue on. But before I put the glue on, I just need to have a little bit of a think. do I want my paper sat on there and then my pocket on top, or do I want to stick my pocket down and then stick this spine bit on? And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it that way with the pocket open and then stick the pocket on the top. Okay, decision made. Glue. So yeah, so you need to remember, oh, I've clogged up again, hang on. You need to remember that these spine pieces have all got to be lined up if you are going to create your own. Oh, come on. Play nicely, Mr. Glue. Hang on. It's clogged up again. Why? Why did I that? Okay, that doesn't seem to be clogged, so I don't know what your problem is. Try that. Oh, could that have been it? Yes, that was it. Okay. Don't you just hate it when your nozzle bungs up with glue? It's like you're preventing me from creating, mate. The wobbliest line of glue ever that was. And then, so do any of you do the December daily? Have you done one previously? And if you have, how did you find it? Lorraine's put, 'cause it can. Cindy's put, I do not. Okay. Right, so I'm going to slip that under there. Line it up with my pencil mark. Line it up with the edge of the doings here. And then we can squidge that down. Tracie's put, I'm still working on December daily from 3 years ago. You keen, Tracie? Keen? Right, so that's stuck down, and now I can stick my pocket down. So, like, down that edge. And down that edge. And I'm not putting a thumb hole in. Cindy's put, I'm lucky to get everything done, let alone document it. Okay, so that's my pocket in place. Right, to rearrange my pages again. That was my back cover. That was that page. That was that page. And that was my other pages, right? So we've now gone through how to attach those spines. I don't have a pin to hand. Can you believe I'm an embroiderer, or I used to be? Mind you, I do know where my pins are. My pins are behind me. I'm just being lazy and not getting up. That's what it is. Right, so one of the things that I thought of for the cover, but I can't do it yet, because one of the problems with decorating the cover right now is this is going to be like flipping and flapping and opening and closing loads. And I don't want it to get damaged. So what I've actually done so far is I've got my peel-offs. There they are. So I've got loads of these thin lines of peel-offs. So I went round, if I show you the original image, I went round each of these boxes with the peel-offs to box it all in and to add that little bit of glitz and glam. So hopefully you can see where I've put the peel offs on there. Bring it up a little bit closer and you might be able to see then. And if I tilt it backwards and forwards, you'll see that little bit of glimmer, hopefully. Do-do, do-do, do-do. Alright, the other thing that I want to do is I want to cut out each of these houses individually, and I'm going to put 3D foam on the back and attach them to the front cover so that there's the dimension there as well. But as I say, that I'm going to leave until the end, until it's all put together, and then I can decorate my front cover up completely. Alright, so that explains that one. The next page I want to talk to you about is this one. So what I did here was I've got this envelope and I stuck the flap down to the page, and then I cut out the image and sat that on top of the flap so that it hinges now that envelope to be able to open and close like so. Alright, the other thing that I did was I'd got some embossed, no, start again Carol, I punched out a tab and then I run it through the embossing machine. Excuse me, I put it through my embossing machine, and then I've inked over the top of it. This technique I actually want to show you, so we will do that in the next video. I won't do it in this one, but it's using the metallic gilding polish by Cosmic Shimmer, and the colour that I've used is mint gilding polish. Right, so that's the one that I've used. So that will flip open. Now actually what I want to do is, you see this dark blue section down here, so I am going to, not with those scissors, no, with these scissors here. Yeah, I love pearlised paper. And if you remember, I had to cut off this gold border for it to fit on the page. So let me just think. Right, so I'm going to cut it bigger on the side. I'm going to leave the bottom as it is, and then I'm going to cut it bigger on this side. Alright, so I've cut it bigger here, and I've left the bottom as it is. And then I am going to fussy cut around it. Now I'm not going to cut around those little nodule bits there, I'm just going to the basic shape. So it'll be a very rough and ready fussy cut. So again, I'm a little tuned to yourself, but I only want the dark blue bits showing. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't, you know, if it's not a perfect cut, because the pattern should match up underneath. Right, gone off kilter there. Come on now, Carol. There we go. Right, so I've got that section now cut out. Push all them up out the way. Okay, and then I'm going to fold that edge in. And I'm also going to fold this edge in. And then I'm going to fold the bottom edge up. So you can see, look, the gold bit, the gold frame that I ended up cutting off is now on the back. If I was being real professional, you see, I'd have used my bone folder. Your rough and ready is neater than my perfect fussy cutting. Oh, I don't know about that, Tracy. Okay. So where there's the square here, I'm going to taper up to that corner, spin it and taper down to that corner. Do the same on this side, taper up to the corner and taper down to the corner. I also need to make sure that when I fold these side bits over, they're not extending beyond the paper edge up here. So if you need to taper them, then you should do. Alright. We're then going to use my rubbish glue. Now we want the two sides in, and then we're going to put the bottom edge on top of those. So I'm going to put a little dabble of glue there and there to hold that bottom flap in place, and then we're going to put glue around those three sides. I should have tested it to see if it fits first, shouldn't I? Oh, I'm taking my life into my own hands here. What if it don't fit? Da, da, da. Tragedy strikes at the Tinson household as her pocket does not fit her paper. Okay, let's have a look. Whew, it fits. Is there a substitute for that gilding polish? Amazon is selling only a few colours. $50 to $60. Well, it is Black Friday very soon, so you never know, they might be reduced. I think isn't Cosmic Shimmer a British company? That might be why they are the price that they are. I'm sure there will be. Tracy, come on, you're the one with the ideas on all the different materials. Well, I tell you what, if between you and me, Lorraine, mine would have been with a few more expletives in there. Right, so we've now got a lovely pocket at the bottom. I was putting the kettle on and missed the question. So basically Lorraine said, is there a substitute for the gilding polish? Because it's $50 to $60. Sorry, yeah, $50 to $60 on Amazon. Because isn't Cosmic Shimmer a British company? I could be wrong. I was keeping it family friendly. Okay, so we've now got a flip out and we've got a pocket on the bottom. But also on the front of the envelope here. Oh yes, any sort of rubbing wax. There you go. See, I knew Tracie'd know. So what I've done is I've actually embossed some of the blue pearlised paper. So I've got this lovely panel here, but I put my panel on upside down. So the actual, this side here is debossed, which means it goes down. This side is the embossed, which means it's raised. So I was thinking of putting that on as a belly band onto the front of my envelope. Now this paper is quite thin, so what I'm going to have to do is back it with a piece of scrap paper so that that would then sit on there. So this one's got lots of elements going on. Let's get rid of that. And we want a piece of nice card. So we'll use this. So I'm going to stick that onto there. It's difficult to do with these pages. Okay. Put some glue on the back. I could have used the debossed side, But I thought it was quite nice to have a slightly different colour anyway. Showing, instead of it all being blue, I'll just lightly run a bit of glue over the rest of that. And then I can stick that on that card. And now give it a little bit of a border. Oh, I didn't cut that very straight either, did I? Now I could have added lace behind this, but I don't want it too bulky. Oh, heck, Carol. So, I'm not going to stick that down because I'm not happy with it, because this edge here wasn't straight on the embossed piece. So I'm going to redo that because I don't, you know, it's not how I want it. So there's no point adding it just for adding its sake. But as you can see, that is what it will look like when it's stuck on the front, so that you could put a journaling card in there, flip it over, put a journaling card in there, and then you could put a couple of big tags in that pocket on there. Alright, but I will redo that and add it on later. Okay, flip it over. So as you can see here, what I've done is I roughly cut around, I think I covered this in the previous video, was where I roughly cut around and inked up the edge, so that I've now also got big pockets on the back as well, so I could put a really nice big journaling card in the back of there. I'm going to omit this one for a bit and I'm going to move on to the next page. So let me just get my pages sorted and have a swig of my tea. Okay, the next one I want to add is the owl. And I have extra pages of that for what I want to do here. There we go. Right, swig of tea. Hi there, Phyllis. Hi, Marie. Okay. So, with this one on the reel, as you can see here, this one printed beautifully up to this point here, and then my ink started to run out. I was like, ugh, and I don't want to waste the page. What I need is a base picture. These all the same size. Yes. Okay. The other thing that I forgot to point out as well, I don't know whether you noticed, I did mention about you know, some of the animals and things having this beautiful, pretty decorative element within them. Did you notice the tree? The tree has got all this like beautiful embellishment in it as well, so it looks like it's got wood carving on it. How delicious is that? Okay, so I want this image to fit on that page. So I want my paper trimmer out. Oh no, let's just rip it. Let's rip it. We'll rip it. So I want it that much smaller. Move them pages out of the way, Carol. me get myself lined back up again. Me moving them pages, it shifted. Okay, so I want it there. Okay, and I want it there. Now this is where it's handy if you do all your printing all in one go, because I think that I've done some at the size as it is, and I think I've done some to fit, so some have ended up larger than others. Okay, let me turn it around that way. Okay, so I want a little bit off the bottom, a little bit off the top. Ooh, wrong way, Carol. It's taken me a long time to get used to ripping paper with a ruler. Okay, cross your fingers, everyone. I think that's square. Soon see, yeah. Phew. And the bottom bit as well. We want that smaller. I'm going to mark it with a pencil because I don't trust myself. Okay, so I want it to about there. To about there. Someone's just saying don't be shy, Marie. So I'm guessing Marie wants to ask a question. I don't know. Let's have a look. $13-ish. Hi everyone, I usually just lurk. Oh, don't be lurking, Marie. Come and say hello to the girls. They'll all make you feel very welcome, because they're like that. Right, so that now fits our page. I now need to rip this one to the same size. So let me line it up so that I can see where it all matches. Down a bit, left a bit, right a bit. There we go. Get me rule on there. Rippity rip rip. Oh, I don't need to bother with that side. Okay. I'm going to do it to there. Ah, you moved. Don't you be moving. You moved again. Okay, line it up again. I think it should be about there. Okay, break that top edge. In fact, I'm going to draw a line to save me having to keep lining it up. Okay. That bit done. And then this top bit. Pencil line to pencil line. do it the other way, Carol. You shifted again. Right. Now this piece, as you can see, I have not done this edge yet. Right? Because what I want to do is I want to do 3 layers. So you've got the bottom layer, then you'll have the middle layer, which will be 2. Yep. Can you see there's like a blue line here? So I'm going to rip it to about there. Make sure I'm nicely lined up. Ooh, keep that little bit. So then that will then sit on top of there. And there'll be a pocket there. Hope you heard me. And then this one I'm going to do to here, because my ink starts running out about here, whereas up to here it's okay. So if I rip that to there, chuck that bit away because the ink's run. Now we need to line it up top and bottom. I've lost me where. Where'd he gone? That's it. There and there. Right, again, I'm going to draw it. I can't keep faffing about with trying to line it up. Right, let's do that. Sometimes these things do take a little bit of time and patience. Right, that's that bit done. Then we've got there and there. Okay, do that. And do this bottom one. So what I try and do is, whenever I've got a kit, and I think I talked about this in either the last time or in one of my other videos, I go through and I look at the individual pages, and I think to myself, what can I do with it? I look at it and think, okay, so I've got that there and I've got that there. Right, so those 3 will now sit on top of each other, and we will have, choose this, so we'll have a pocket here, we'll have a bigger pocket here, and then this back one, which will be attached to the page, will also be a pocket as well. Because one of the things that this sort of kit, in a sense, is kind of lacking is kind of writing space. So if you are a writer, you want to keep, you know, an actual journal. Oh, I don't quite match up there. Need to rip that down a bit more. You know, it's lacking that little bit of somewhere to put. So it means making pockets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach each of these to each other, so then I can make sure that they are sort of lined up. So, and I'm not inking any of these up because, that side Carol, because I don't want to make it too obvious. that there's pockets there. I want them to be a little bit on the secret side. And I'm leaving a bit of space between the edge of the page and the glue, just in case I have to rip some off. So that one will sit on top of there. Xoxo. And if it's all inked up, then there's no way then that it becomes secret. But it does give you ample space to add some writing pages, so you could put your make some little note. Oh, am I doing the right side? Yes. You could make some little notebooks to tuck into each of the pockets, you know, because they're big enough pockets to be able to do that. Okay, let's stick this one on. Put that on there. Put that on there. Make sure that we're all nicely lined up so that it becomes all very secretive. I haven't quite matched it up there, look. Fiddle-a-diddle-a-dee. I think it's, oh no, might not be too late to line it. Okay. Come on, lift off. Please, be nice. Right, I'm gonna have to glue that piece again, I think. So stick that on there. Make sure your branch is lined up, Carol. There we go. That's better. Right, now they are definitely different levels here. So I'm going to chop the top and the bottom and probably this edge on my paper trimmer and leave this edge on the 3 pieces ripped. Okay, I can't do it just yet because my glue's not dried, but that would then sit on that page there, and I could actually glue it around the back on 3 sides that way and have a back top loading pocket and then 2 side loading pockets, or I can glue it around those 3 sides and have a really big pocket that way, a medium-sized pocket that way, and a smaller pocket that way. Alright, but as I say, I will wait for the glue to set on that before I actually chop it down on my paper trimmer, but that will then be that page. Now there is going to be more decorating on each of the pages, but I need to sort of just do my planning of my pages to begin with to decide what's going where, and I will cover more of those decorative elements in a future video. Right, so that's that. Now then, next page. So I'm leaving that one for now. So on this one, what I would like to do, I've done that one, so I don't need you. I do need you. So yeah, as I say, with these kind of kits, I like to look through and think, where can I put the hidden pockets to be able to do things with. So with this one, for instance, while I have a slurp of my tea, have I got just 3 pages there? That feels more than 3. 1, 2, Oh, blimey neck, I've got 4. That's why. Never mind. If it was you, what would you do with this page? Let's see what you would do, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking of doing with this page. I'm just having a slurp of my tea. You've all gone quiet now, look. For me, there's a couple of options with this one. And if you're watching the replay, leave your ideas in the comments down below the video and let me know what you do. Pat's put, make the windows open and put something behind them. The windows are very small though, Pat. Since your vertical pockets previously could do it horizontally. Could do. Yep. But where would you cut? Would you cut halfway through the house? Would you cut on the roof? If you were doing it vertically. In fact, I'm just going to chop this up whilst you're all having a little think on that. Take them too. And then I'm going to stand these up here out of my way. You're not going to stand up, are you? Put you there, prevent you from falling down. And we'll put you there for the time being. Phyllis has put rabbit in a headline moment. Okay, so again, let me get my page. I need to make sure that the image is the right size. And again, I can see it's too big, so I need to chop it down. And this one, I'm just going to do it on the paper trimmer. And just put roof and. Okay, so I line that edge up there. Add shimmer to the roof. Oh, good too, yeah. Why don't you measure it, Carol, and then you know what size you're cutting it to. Okay, so my page is measure, so I want it to be 7.5 inches and 7 3/4 inches. So 7.5 inches wide, 7 3/4 inches deep. Let's chop that bottom bit off. Don't want the bottom bit. So my 7.5 comes to about here, so I can take a little bit off the bottom. Okay, so this wants to be, what did I say, 7.5 inches wide. Oh, blummy neck. Mathematics on a Saturday night. 7.5 inches. I did get that right, didn't I? 7.5 inches wide, yes, 7 3/4 inches deep. 7 3/4 inches deep. Excellent. Don't curl up, Mr. Paper. Oh, shifted. 7 3/4 inches deep. Right, I'm going to cut this one the same, just for now, just to be, you know, equal, even Stevens. So I said chop a little bit off the bottom, didn't I? That seems to be a lot that way. So 7.5 inches wide. And 7 3/4 inches deep. Put some flying owls in the tree. Okay, so remember we said we're trying to make extra writing space. So that would sit on top. So I'm thinking if I fold it here, okay, so I could fold it there, and then I could stick that on just down this one edge, and I could use my magic tape to do that, and then that would flip open, and then that would flip open again. All right, so you've then got all of this then as writing space, and again this is going on that page, so you could glue around the 3 sides, or you could glue around the 3 sides to make pockets to put extra little booklets in. Okay, what I thought about doing was, hang on, let me just get me bearings. Yeah. Ooh, okay. So what I was thinking of doing was doing something similar in the folding out bit, but I was thinking of cutting across here and across here, and then following the outline of the house. So then the house, you could put on like a little brass pin down here, so that that becomes the door knocker. So then you could lift that up, and the house itself would then flip open. But it actually doesn't give you a lot of writing space, which is why I'm thinking of folding that. Don't want it to the edge of the house. Do it a bit further. Do it a little bit further, Carl. There we go. And then somewhere over here, there we go. So we'll put my magic scotch tape on the edge of the page there. Oh, got my thumbprint on it now. And then line that paper up. Make sure I've got a bit of matchy where the fold is. Take you out a little bit further. Fold that over to the back. Trim off the extra. So then that will open like that, and then that will open like that. Now normally at this point I would add some magic tape on the back here, but I don't want this to be pure white, so I either need to do some stenciling or add some coffee dyed paper, but I definitely need to do something on the back of this because I don't want it to be pure white. Once I've decided what I'm going to add on the back of here, I would then add another piece of the magic tape down this edge down here to form that hinge. because at the minute that is now sticky from the hinge on this side. Okay, so that would be that one to create some extra writing space, so that that would flip like that, and then that would then sit on my background page like so. Okay, you could add some kind of tab across here, and a little bar on there. Maybe at the top up here would be good. Let me just have a little think a minute. No, I think what I would do, magnet might be an idea. To stop this from flapping open, I could put a magnet on the back here, and then put a magnet here. So the magnet's there, which would be here. So then that then magnetises that shut. I could cut out a tab then to put on this part of the paper here. So I could lift the tab and pull that open. Let's just do it. Let's just get them magnets out and do it. Because I might as well do it now, because the paper that I'm going to stick onto the back of this page will cover over the magnet. So that works perfectly. So if I put a magnet there, tape, to hold you in place. Okay. We then need to figure out where it needs to go. Yeah, it wants to be on this side. Oh, this is going to be fiddly. Okay. Okay. How am I going to do this? So, that's just attached itself to that. That made a mark. Oh, made a mark. Excellent. Right, okay, so with me just gently rubbing it like that, when I lift that up, pull that open, there's an indent there where that magnet's meant to go. Yes. Okay, now we need to make sure that it's the right way around, because that is the side that attaches. Let me just put a little dot of glue on there. That is the side, come on glue, that is the side that attaches to the magnet there. It's all technical stuff this, isn't it? So, what did I just say? That's the side that attaches to that magnet there. Or was that the top? Oh, I've forgotten now. Well, because my paper's so thin, it should be okay. Phyllis has just said, hope your magnet's strong enough. Yes, it is. Because these are... Oh, it doesn't give me the magnetism. And that's why I'm trying to put it on this side rather than that side, because then it's got 1, 2, 3 layers, well 4 layers, 5 layers of paper to go through once I put the paper on the back. So at least having it over on this side, it's only got 1, 2, 3 layers to go through. Right, so that is the top that is not attached to the other magnet. So it means that I want think it's that way. So I want it like that, I think. Let me just do a temporary check. Oh, it says me mark. So that will be closed like that, and then that would go. Yay! See if I can do it loud enough for you to hear. Did you hear that? So that's the right way around. Phew! Okay, let's put that down so that it's nice and flat, because we don't want no wrinkles showing when we put our other paper on top. So I'll probably put something like a coffee dyed paper on top of this, because that's then thin. Because like Phyllis has just said, if you use like thick cardstock and stuff, because it's got so many layers to go through, the magnet won't attach itself to the other magnet. There we go. So again, I will do that off camera. I will add a piece of paper on the back here, and I will add a little tab up here, because we don't want to be hoiking it up with our fingers, because that will damage the paper. So if I put a little tab up here, then it means that we can lift the tab up to be able to open the page. Okay, so that's another page kind of thought of, nearly completed. Right, again, I'm going to ignore that one. I'm going to do one more page and then I'm going to go. So with this one, I thought about this page. I should have those. I should have. Hang on, I've got that many papers off to the side over here. Let me just double check everything. Don't want that. I've got doubles and triples of everything. We might also. Oh no, I've got one more page that I want you to do. Which was that one, which is also on my back cover. Right. Oh, another robin. Do I want another robin? No, I don't. Let's choose another paper. There's the other robin though. Actually, no, I could do. Thinking about it. Okay, we could have that one. Alright. Alright. Okay. 7.5 wide, 7 3/4 deep. Can you all remember that? Cindy, you rolled in your breath. Okay. Straight line to start with. 7.5 wide, 7 3/4 deep. So we'll chop off that bottom bit. There we go. And then we can do the 7 3/4 deep, which will be to there. And then we want that way around to do 7.5 wide. Okay, so that will be the backing sheet, which will attach to the page. And then I want 2 of these. So 7.5 wide, 7 3/4 deep. Okay. 7.5 wide. Now this is going to be quite similar. Ooh, no, I don't want to lose the robin, so I'm actually going to trim the straight edge on. Oh no. You'll get used to this in a minute. Me going, oh no. So I want that to fold back, so I actually want that longer. Okay. But I want 7.5 inches from there across. So if I do the 7 3/4 inches deep first, I hope everyone's following this, because I'm tossing and turning the paper round. Right, so that's now 7 3/4 inches deep. I want to keep the robin there. So I want to measure 7.5 inches from that printed edge across. So 7.5 inches is there. In fact, I want it just thinking on the hoof here. We'll do it to 7.5 inches for now, because I can always trim a little bit off in a minute. Okay, so on this one, I've left that white border edge on there. On this one, I'm leaving the white border edge on this side. So I want to cut a straight edge first. And the reason why I do this is because your printer can pick up the paper skew width. And so there's you lining up your paper, but your print is actually just slightly off. Okay, so I want the white edge there, and then so in fact what I could do is do it to there. Okay, because we want the robin intact again, so I want 7.5 inches from there across. Now I want to do 7 3/4 inches deep. So 7 3/4 inches deep. And then for this one, I want 7.5 inches from this edge. And what I'm actually going to do is get rid of that lot. To do that. Okay, so I've now put a fold line in there. So this now is all excess, so I can trim all of that off. Well, not all of it, because I want to leave myself a hinge. Okay. Everyone with me so far? Right, so we've now got a hinge on the right hand side, and I'm going to attach a hinge on the left hand side. Okay, so this hinge is going to be attached to the back of this. So I've inserted that behind. Make sure I'm lined up. I'm going to taper those corners as well, so that there's no excess showing. and then put some glue. Oh, this blooming glue. I think I need a new bottle. My mind keeps rolling long after the video's end. Well, that's good that it's giving you some inspiration, Lorraine. I mean, even if you don't do it with this kit, you know, there might be other papers. Come on, Mr. Glue, thank you. There might be other papers that you're thinking of utilising on another kit and think, oh, actually, that idea would work that Carol used on that for this page in my journal. Okay, so that's now hinged on the back there, so that that will flip open. And then we're going to glue this hinge onto the right hand side. But again, I'm just going to taper that bit there. Again, just make sure that we match up nice. Okay, put some glue on the back of that. In fact, this is going to be my last page, because I think if I start going into the realms of the next page I'm thinking of, I think I'll totally blow your mind. Okay, what I'm now going to do, because these now flip open, is I'm going to fold this one back on itself a bit. So that that will be like that. Okay, and then this one will fold back on itself. I run that there, do the same at the top. There. Okay, so I can see here that this edge is really close to this, so I'm just going to trim just a tiny bit off that one edge. There we go, and then fold that in. So now we've got that. So exactly, I'm going to use the flying butterfly idea to make swimming mermaids. Oh, check you out. And seahorses in my niece's mermaid journal. We need to see pictures of that, Pat. And a flower garden in my gardening journal. Oh, check you out. Right, so now this one now will open up like that to reveal the church. So it looks like, because the robin is viewing the village over here. Alright, so it opens it up to show that he's actually looking at the church, and then it will open up again that way. Alright, and again, this will need some more paper on the back of it because I don't want it white. Alright, so that's that, and that's sticking to this page. So that will be glued down on there. Now, this time I'm not going to leave it open as a pocket or a pocket, because you're just creating a whole lot of bulk, and whilst we all love a pocket, there does come a point where you can only add so many, because if you have too many, you've got to fill those pockets with things, and it just makes your journal too bulky, and that's why we have big gator mouth journals, because we've got too many pockets. All right, what I'll possibly do with this one is I might add a tab on the top edge here, and I might add a tab on the top edge here, so that they can be pulled apart. And again, I could put a little strap across there, or even a paper clip. I might even put a decorated paper clip on there, and maybe put the tabs at the bottom. I don't know yet, I'll have to have a think about that one. But I could put a paper clip on there to keep them closed, because otherwise they're just going to be flapping in the wind again. Right, so the robin's looking into the distance to view the church. And there we have it. Alright, there is lots more I want to do on this, so there will be more videos on it. So really, we're just kind of starting, really. So, there'll be the 3-dimensional houses on the front there. Great space, Carol. There will be a proper embossed belly band on there. There is the pocket here. There's the pocket here. I've yet to decide what we're doing with these smaller pages yet. We've got the 3 pockets there with the owl, so that will be on that page. Got the small one there. We've got this as the flip out, magnetised flip out here. And we have another small page, and then we've got the robin looking into the distance at the church. There we go. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 more pages to decorate. Okay? Okay. You see, that's very kind of you, Phyllis. Phyllis has put, "You're so talented, Carol." And Pat has put, "You're a freaking genius, Carol." You see, I will take those compliments. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. But what I would say to you is, I don't see it as being genius or clever or inventive. For me, it's about looking at an image and seeing what else I can do with it. You know? What I would like to do with the house one, wherever it is, yeah, what I would have liked to have done was to have had a little cutout letterbox there, opened up the slot so that you could actually slot a little envelope into that letterbox. I might even think of something for that yet. There you go. For me, it's just thinking outside the box. The box. That's why I say to you, whenever you print off a digital kit and you're going to use it, look at the pages before you do anything else, and just say to yourself, when I look at that, where could I add a pocket? Where could I add a little flip out? So like this one. This one just spoke volumes to me, that could be cut out and have it as a pocket. And then I'm not encroaching on anything else, and then I could add a journaling card. I could add a nice big tag here, and I'm not encroaching on the picture of the church. You know? Small journaling card down here, not encroaching on the picture of the church, but big tag up here. I could even put glue down the centre so that they're 2 separate pockets. So yeah, it's always about looking at the image and looking what you can cut out, what you can utilise, what you can sit on top of each other. It's the other parts I'm not so hot at, is the, you know, when you see people making all these extra embellishments and things to decorate the pages up. That's not so hot for me. But being inventive in terms of creating unusual pages and hidden spots, that seems to be my forte, because I stop and I look before I start to create the page, especially with digitals. Dumbledore. So as soon as I saw this owl page and that it had misprinted on this side, I was like, oh God, I'm not throwing that page away. I could just chop it off, and you know. And I thought, oh, hang on a minute, there's enough space there to actually add another pocket on top. You know, so little things just come to you in a way that you're like, ah, yes. All right, so always look at your pages and just think about what you could do. Phyllis has put, great advice. I hate covering up the images. Yeah, and me. And, you know, I could add lace on the edge of each of these, but then it kind of, you lose the illusion that it's just a full page and that there's no secret pockets in there. Pat's put, that's why you're genius. You open up possibilities for us. Now all I do is I advise you as to just stop and look, because we're so quick to just go bang, 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 bang and put all those pages together and then think about, right, okay, now how am I going to decorate it? That's the order most people do it in. Whereas if you look at the pages first, look at what you can be inspired by to create, then start to put it all together. That's when you can start to sort of look at the images differently. Cindy's put, the collection is so beautiful, you really do need to embellish them. Pockets make sense. Yeah, I mean, as I say, there is a lot more to come with this. And I've got some very special decorative elements that I'm going to be adding to all of these pages. But I'm not going to give the game away. I'm not going to give the game away just yet. And I think especially with this particular kit, because it doesn't, because it's an 8-inch square thereabouts, it doesn't automatically lend itself, not automatically, to a normal, what we would call a normal journal. So when you look at this kit, you do have to sort of think outside the box a little bit. With any 8-inch square design, you need to just stop and look at it and think, you know, I could quite easily have just folded each of the pages in half and put them all together, but I wanted to see the whole design because I just think that the whole image is beautiful. So what was the point of losing half of it on another page? I wanted to see the whole page. Anyway, there you go, I've lectured enough. Well, I hope that you find what I am doing and what I do say inspiring, and I hope it does make you sort of go away and you know, have a little think about things sometimes. I know I can get very preachy. And I hope it doesn't come across too preachy, because I'm really trying to sort of, you know, help and encourage you to just look at things maybe a little bit differently than what you might be used to sort of thinking about, you know. But I've got all sorts of fun things lined up that I want to utilise on this, and I want to add more lace to it as well. But the lace might come in on these smaller pages. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, good, I am glad about that. Cindy's put, not at all preachy. Phyllis has put, you've given me food for thought. You're a good tutor. Well, thank you very much, Phyllis. Marie's put, be sure to give Carol a thumbs up, definitely. And if you can, even though you've been on the live chat, if you could go down and you know, leave a comment even if it was loved it, hated it, or whatever. That would be very much appreciated, because the algorithm is taking all these things into account. The hype thing you can't do on a live, you have to wait for it to upload to become a replay before you can hype, but you can definitely do a thumbs up, and I think you've got to wait for me to sort of share the link for the video, or wait for it to become a replay before you can comment. But yeah, all of those little things are adding up to the algorithm that YouTube uses. So there you go. Right, I am going to go, guys. Thank you ever so much for joining me. And I shall see you all again really soon. And I will definitely be sending out those kits tomorrow. I'm so sorry about that. Just the days have just run away with me. Just totally run away with me. Didn't even know what day it was, to be fair. I think you find that when you're living on your own, and you don't have to worry about kids going to school and stuff like that. School holidays. I'm like, what? When are them? Okay, guys, I am going. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thank you so much for joining me and your lovely company. So all that's left to say is au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, arrivederci, adios amigos, and toodles. Bye.